Hey everyone, it's your host Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today we are going live with a powerhouse speaker. This woman, I am truly astonished by everything she's accomplished and everything she's doing in the trucking industry, which is a male-dominated industry. But she is proving that women can do absolutely anything, and she's the legend and proof herself. You won't want to miss 1 second of this powerhouse speaker. Here we go. Everyone, I'm your host Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show, and today we have Miss Seretha Willingham. And this woman is changing the trucking industry, logistics industry, and a force to be reckoned with. Her company does multiple things, and it's not just trucking. She truly is logistics. She does it all, from long haul over the road to local deliveries, and she has a warehouse. And we're going to dive deep on this episode to find out how she did it and what is her secret, her some unveiling, you would have it, onto how she accomplished what she's accomplished, because it's unique. It's never been done before. So help me welcome to the stage the incredible Miss Seretha Willingham. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. Ma'am, you are a legend. You're huge. Your company is massive. How did you, first off, how did you come up with the name for your trucking company? Where did that start? What inspired that?
Thank you. Hi, Marcus. Thank you for having me today. The name actually is my first and last initials of my names. My first name, my last name, the initials of that. But the J is actually my daughter's name. Her name is Jasmine. So that's how I came up with the name SJW.
Oh, that is legacy building right there. That's true legacy. Is that kind of like the plan, to build legacy? And is your daughter in the business as well?
Well, she's only 10 years old, so I am inspiring for her to want to be in the business. But often sometimes when they say kids grow up and they decide they want to go different directions. So I have some plans for her either way, whether she decides to go with the family business or she decides to go a separate route.
So you have an incredible mind. You've done many different things. What stood out to you in particular about the logistics industry? I mean, because right now, wait a minute. First off, the pandemic is crazy. Most people got out of the industry, but you stuck through it. Why the trucking industry out of all the industries that you could be in?
I just always had a passion for trucking and wanting my own semi-trucking company. And by me working with the previous company, XPO Logistics, I was able to see everything from the top down. So it inspired me to say, you know what, I think I can do this, really do this. It gave me that, reality check that it's not as hard as you think. What held me back was I was thinking I couldn't do it.
Why did you think you couldn't do it? Why did you think is it because it's a male dominated industry? Did you have a mentor or a coach that pushed you? Did you have another woman that kind of encouraged you along the way? What was the secret there?
Well, the reason why I thought I couldn't do it because I was listening to people, truck drivers especially, who were saying, it's best to have your CDL. Most people get in the industry, they've had their CDLs. I was around people that had driven trucks before. And then I just was in church one day and I was listening to this speaker, and she owned an electrical company in Africa. And she said, well, you don't have to be an electrician to own an electrical company. And then I started looking up company owners, CEOs of the bigger companies, trucking companies. And some of these people never had CDLs. So I was like, well, I can do this because I don't have to have a CDL to have a trucking company. It's all about planning. And yes, I have several mentors and coaches that are still helping me along the way, but they were really important when I got started.
So that's significant, right? You're the second woman I've met that said that, right? I know a woman right now. She owns a restaurant. She owns a hair salon. She can't cook and she can't do hair, but she owns these business and manages these business. She's a great businesswoman. So let me get it straight. You do not have to have your CDL or to own a trucking and logistics business. And I
No.
want to stress the logistics because it's more than just trucking.
And absolutely. No, you don't have to have your CDL to own a trucking and logistics business at all.
When did it start for you? When did you say where did you start? Let's start there. Where did you start? Was it when you purchased your first truck or something else? When how did you know to strategically move through the industry and it's like, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. Can you spill some tea there?
Yes, so I did what typical people learn, which now I teach classes teaching people different ways to come into the industry. But I started the way that most people start. You buy one truck, you put a driver in it, and then you think you're gonna make a lot of money. Keyword I said you think. You think you're gonna make a lot of money. And I did that, but I always had a plan to invest my profits back into business to grow my business because I always knew I didn't want just assets. I wanted non-asset based as well. I wanted a warehouse. I wanted to become a full service 3PL. So there was always a plan there. But now I do tell people that's how I started. That's the most traditional way to start. But there are so many other ways to enter the industry because, like you said, it's logistics. It's not just trucking. It's so much you can do in this industry.
Okay. So help us. Lord help us. Because COVID-19 destroyed it seems like all hope for business owners. Restaurants closing right and left, people losing money, PPP loan ran out, stimulus ran out, unemployment ran out. Um because you said something because nobody goes into business to not make money. And I heard a little rumor that you could make several $1,000s a week in the trucking business. Is this true or is this just I've been lied to? And how is that not a lot of money?
Mhm.
Nobody gets paid weekly, but you can do that in the logistics business, right?
Yes, most people in the logistics business get paid weekly. When you're driving a truck, especially the semi trucks, you can get paid several $1,000s per week, depending on how the driver or how the person operating the truck runs and where the loads are and all that good stuff. And depending on what type of freight they do, because there are different types of freight you can do from dry van to reefer to flatbed to intermodal as well. So, and that's just the name of few, but that is how people are making money. But investing in the trucking industry, yes, you could make some money, but there's a perception out there that you can make quick money. Yes, you can
Mhm.
make quick money, but you also have some quick expenses. The most successful logistics companies are those that build up over time.
Mm. So that makes sense. So what are some you don't have to share all. What are some hidden expenses that people don't think about? I'll share one that happened with a friend of mine. She got two trucks. She got the
Mhm,
Volvo trucks and the money was coming in. She had partnered with somebody. The money was rolling in and she forgot about the maintenance of
mhm,
the truck. But to me, that was like it's still a vehicle, right? And
mhm.
and so the engine blew on one of the trucks.
Right.
And so that's $20,000 gone. What are some unknown expenses that people wouldn't think about in the trucking business that come quick, just like the money's coming kind of quick?
Yes. One that's well known that was put into place years ago is with the emissions. What they call the after treatment system. A lot of people know it as the regen system. That system is probably about as worse as a motor or a transmission going out. Because to just to repair it can cost you a lot of money. I just spent $18,000 getting one repaired myself in a truck. And then as soon as you get out of the shop, we're still having trouble with it. So that's probably the con to it versus a motor. Once that motor get put in and fixed, you probably don't have any more issues with it. With the after treatment system can be an ongoing system. So what I always tell people, I advise them just learn the truck and all the different components because I too was naive to the maintenance. I studied the maintenance, but I looked at the basic things, you know, your motor, your transmission, your tires, you know, preventative maintenance and wear and tear type items. I did not go deep into what all a truck had and what all the maintenance expenses could be, but I learned them very quick.
So I want to point out the obvious. You're a woman in a
Mhm.
male dominated industry. How did you prevent getting taken advantage of? Because that's women's fear, right? Women's like, I want my husband to take care of the car because the guy at the dealership is scamming me, right? He's scamming me on, oh, you got a flat tire, you got to replace all four. Like the craziest one I heard was like this lady, she went to the dealership and she had a she had to replace a tire. So she was like, okay, I just need to replace one tire. And the guy was like, no, you got to replace all four. You don't want mismatched tires. So she bought four brand new tires, even though she didn't need four new tires. So how do you prevent, as a Black woman in a male dominated industry, how do you prevent getting scammed and bamboozled?
It's really educating yourself. Honestly, I've been scammed. I'm no different than the rest. I've been scammed. I've been bamboozled. It wasn't about me being a woman. It was just the fact that because sometimes you have those shops and those mechanics that assume that because you are a woman or because you have a company, male or female, because you have a company that you have money to pay for this stuff and they can just charge what they want to charge. So sometimes it's all about paying attention to your invoice and your bill. Pay attention to the diagnosis. I will dispute something in a minute and say, wait a minute, how did it take you this long when I didn't call you until this time and you're finished already? You only been there 2 hours and you're charging me for 4 hours. It still happens to me to this day. And it's all about people they're just trying to make all they can make. It's not really about being a male or a female. And so I tell people you must educate yourself. Honestly, you just have to educate yourself because everybody is out to make the most money they can make anytime they can touch your vehicle or your truck or whatever they have to repair.
So so what I'm hearing, Seretha Willingham, y'all. Another round of applause. This is huge. This is huge. So what I'm hearing is pay attention to the books. Pay attention to the business. Don't sit there and drop your truck off and then think, oh boy, got you. Pay attention to the books. That's what I'm hearing?
Yes, you must pay attention. It's okay to get a second opinion. Don't get upset when you have to say I want a second opinion or I would like to have my mechanic. There are some things you just cannot avoid. There are a lot of things people know when you're over the road, especially like my company is over the road. So they know, hey, if she's based in Georgia and her truck is in Texas, they already know I'm not flying out there to check that truck out. There then, you know, I hate to tell people, but you got to pay attention to the methods that you pay. When people start asking you to wire them money to pay for something or they want you to pay in advance, that's a red flag. But I know this industry, some things you can't avoid to get your equipment fixed.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Seretha Willingham, y'all. That's huge. That's huge. You are truly incredible. And that's amazing. We have one quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a reliable professional trucking and logistics service, you've come to the right place. Musa Trucking is a veteran-owned and operated premier transportation provider that can help with all of your trucking and logistics needs. Musa is revolutionizing the trucking industry through strategic partnerships, the development of core personnel, and the use of cutting-edge technology. Our inventory system ensures that cargo ends up divided into the right trucks and reaching the correct destination. Our drivers are dedicated to transporting goods efficiently and safely. Contact us today to get started by visiting the website on the screen or by calling 757-756-5246.
Are back to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show, and we have the incredible Seretha Willingham, and she is spilling some tea on the trucking industry, how she got started, how she avoids being taken advantage of. Watch the money, folks. You got to watch your money. You got to pay attention to the money. How did you find a crew? How did you find your team? What's the perfect team when getting into this business? Is it your CPA? Is it your truck drivers? Is it your managers, your leaders? What's the perfect team in this business that really has helped you 10x your business and take your business to the next level?
In this day and time, I'll just say finding the perfect team or the right team. I'm still searching for finding that, but the team that I do have are people that have been with me since pretty much the company start or expanded in 2020. And they just, when you looking for someone, you must look for people that have the same vision or have a vision of their own one, but can adjust to your vision and understand where you're going and see how it's going to benefit them as well as your company. And that is how I've been able to find the perfect team to help me with growing this company.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Why did you transition to a warehouse in the trucking industry? What's the strategy and the mindset shift behind that? Can you share any of that?
Yes. So what happened in 2020 when the pandemic hit, we were doing very well. We had expanded. And then we were like, well, we want to open another line of business because, like I said, I like to invest back into the company to grow it. And we were like, what is going to be that line of business? So we explored several lines of businesses, but the one that we landed on was warehousing because that would make us a full service 3PL.
And what is that? I'm gonna I'm play the ignorant card.
No problem. The 3PL is a third party logistics company.
Okay, so what does that mean? Do you store your the goods that you deliver? Do you hold them for a time? Do you provide storage options for customers that may not need a certain inventory or a certain delivery just yet?
Yes. So with us, we that's the beauty of it. We can do everything all on one invoice. So with our warehousing services, we can store your product. We can pick it up for you. We can deliver it to our warehouse or deliver it wherever you want it delivered. But if you're also an e-commerce business owner where you sell items online, we can pick and pack your items and ship it out to your customers or to other retailers as well.
Do you do you do you work it's called a last mile delivery. I heard the term. Do you specialize in any of that, the last mile delivery? And can you explain what
No.
that is? No?
Yes, so last mile delivery is just what it says. I tell people all the time in the trucking and logistics industry, when these men that came up with this industry, they didn't put a lot of effort into the name. So a lot of time the name is just what it says. So it's going, last mile delivery is your product is going to the final mile, wherever its final destination is, wherever that last mile to get it to its final destination, that's last mile delivery. We do not do last mile delivery. You'll find that a lot of times with your Amazons and your Targets, or the box trucks, the people that do that. XPO Logistics is big in last mile delivery, but we don't do last mile delivery.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you for breaking that down because I wanted to see if you were going the path of Amazon. What's the goal for you? What's next? Is it owning some jets, some planes, and doing delivery that way and adding on? Just like I'm thinking FedEx, right? I'm thinking the logistics business, and that's why I asked about last mile delivery. What's
Mhm.
next for SJW? Sorry,
It happens all the time. I'm like, I'm not SWV, okay? I'm SJW.
I'm
Uh,
so sorry.
so no, it's okay. But what's next for us is we're getting into imports and exports with the drayage and the intermodal world. We're in the process of working with our local business office who supports growing Georgia on the export world. So we have that as well. We have someone mentoring and coaching us for that. We're in the process of getting our foreign trade zone for the warehouse so we can help customers save on tariffs. So we're big. We're really focused on going global.
Love it. Love it. Big. You got to think big. This is the millionaire mindset behind her, y'all. This is next level stuff. You got to connect with her and see what she's doing. She's absolutely incredible. I wanted to ask, where do you think the logistics business is it in trouble? The pandemic, COVID-19, you had to pivot. Do you think this is still a valuable industry, or is it going away? Do you think, um, and I hope it doesn't go away, because that's part of what you do. But what do you think? What do you think? How do you feel?
I just feel like with the supply chain issues and all the shortages and everything, that logistics and trucking, it will never go away. People don't even realize that, just going from their house to their job, that's part of logistics. Someone has to coordinate, making sure that highway is up to par to make sure you get from point A to point B. As long as we have to eat to live, there's always going to be a transportation need for food in the grocery stores. So logistics is never going away. There will be some things that will have to be looked at to say, hey, what's more important? Companies will have to say, focus on, they may have to do some cutbacks until supply chains pick up, because we have a part shortage. That's the biggest struggle in the logistics industry right now, is a part shortage and repairs. And I can just tell you, one little thing that is a DOT violation can shut your truck down, and that's because that part is on back order, i.e. a windshield wiper. And so you have some trucks sitting, nothing wrong with them but a windshield wiper. So I just think that, a lot of people, especially as small businesses, what they say, you really had to manage your money good over the last 2 years, have your reserves, work with banks closer to show them that you really have a business plan, so that way you can survive this. Because unfortunately, they was expecting us to be out of this a year ago, and we're going into year 2, maybe 3 now. So it's just really going to be being strategic to say, do I have to have this? Only buying what you need to have.
You built a multi-million-dollar company. What advice would you give to the young girl, the young woman who feels like, I can't do this. I can't achieve what this woman has achieved. Because you said it earlier, you had those negative stereotypes, you had that talk. How did you overcome that mindset? How did you shift that mindset to say, I can do this?
Well, first of all, my father used to tell me growing up, anything easy, everybody would have it. So if it's worth having, you're going to have to work for it. So don't think because you see it in someone else's eyes, or it looks good on the outside, that there's not work put into it. So I would tell that young person is to prepare mentally to be challenged. If you can handle a challenge and you can not give up on yourself, you'll be just fine in starting any business. But you just have to have the patience and the will to stick with it.
I love that. I love that. That's huge. How do you negotiate? How did you navigate the increase in gas and diesel? Any tips or strategies there? Did you just buy gas in bulk? I mean, I don't know
Mhm.
how to get around that, right? Because you gotta fill up the truck. You gotta do what you
Mhm.
gotta do and keep it on the road. If the wheels aren't turning, it's not making money. How did you get
Mhm.
around the gas increases?
I mean, there was really no way around it. Again, like, we have to have food to eat. You have to have fuel to put in those trucks to pick up and deliver. But it's more so, the good thing about it is, with us, we partner with our customers. So it's not like our customers don't see the news. Our customers don't see fuel and prices. We tell them, hey, we hope this is just as temporary as you hope it is. But in order to continue working with you, these are the things we're going to have to do. It hit us shockingly. So we've tried to go as long as we can without showing you a pricey increase. But unfortunately, we are at that point where we will have to increase prices to accommodate the fuel. So it's all about communication and having that conversation.
So you didn't hide it. You were very upfront. You were saying, "Listen, you see what gas prices are. You know, I gotta get this load across, the United States." So you were just very honest and said, "Listen, my prices are adjusting because of the increase on me." You were just very honest. Is that what I hear?
Yes, very honest.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge, and that's I think that's what we need, and that's why I had to beg and plead to get her on the show, y'all. Because no, because you are powerful, and you are necessary, and I need women to step forward and you guys are stepping forward and you're dominating. I met another young lady. She was doing STEM, right? Black women in STEM, science, technology, education, engineering, math, right? And
Mhm.
so you guys are stepping forward and you're dominating industries. Kevin O'Leary attests to the mindset of women. He said the best companies he's ever invested in, Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, the best companies ever invested in is women owned businesses, because you guys rock the house and you truly take it and you mold it and you build real businesses, not just, this isn't a fly by night. You're not going to disappear and go off to the Bahamas. And like, you really believe in the mission that what you're doing. What is your company's mission?
Our mission, honestly, is to continue to grow in the 3PL space, but working with small to medium sized businesses to help them grow as well. We want to be able to use our assets and our knowledge in the logistics industry to help those small to medium sized business owners, because a lot of them, they come up with really awesome products to sell. They get retail contracts, but they missed out on the logistics, and that sometimes takes them out of business because of paying for the logistics. So we're here. Our mission is focused and targeted directly at small to medium-sized businesses to help them be successful in their space by providing affordable logistics.
Love it, love it, love it. You have something coming up. You have an event that you're hosting that you are teaching. She's a teacher, y'all. She's an educator. So don't be fooled. Don't just think that she got her nose to the grindstone. She's building a multi-million dollar to going to billion-dollar industry. But she has a course. She's giving back. This is why you're necessary, because you also give back. You're like the LeBron James of logistics, right?
Thank
Uh,
you.
so you give back. And so tell us about, you have a course coming up where you're going to be teaching, and I'm going to bring it up here on the big screen. Tell us about what my audience can expect and what they're going to get out of this course.
Sure. So, what we have coming up, because I get asked all the time, how did you get started? How should I get in a truck? I want to buy a truck. What should I buy? I get all these questions. And a lot of times people just, even when I answer them, they still confused because they just don't know. And so we came up with what we call the 5-day trucking challenge. And it's going to teach you how to get into the logistics and trucking industry, whether it's going to talk about leasing versus buying, what financing is about, what they look for in financing. We're going to talk about the different rates over the road, how to bid on loads. We're going to do a deep dive into the intermodal world, because that's really popular right now. And a lot of people don't know, just like you can make good money with intermodal, you can lose it real quick there. And I'm going to be sharing some expert advice and advice from people that and partners that we do business with.
I love it. Love it. See that? See that? She took her shot, y'all, and now she's giving back. That's what's important. That's what we don't see enough of. Leaders giving back, right? She could easily probably just go off into the sunset and ride off, and her family's good, and her family's good, and they're taken care of. But she's giving back. And that's what we need to do. We need more of her doing what she's doing, but also saying, hey, I want to take you guys along with me. I want to send the ladder back down. And so that's super, super important. What in your opinion, what's the best truck to own? Because that I thought it was Volvo until it blew up. And so, what is the best truck to own? In your professional opinion.
Honestly, I've had them all. I have Volvos, I have International, I have Freightliners, I have Kenworth. So I have them all. I've tried them all. There, I can tell you from my experience, all of them work good until they tear up. So it's not one that's better than the other to me. But what we look for in buying trucks is, where are the most shops in the around the US that we can get our trucks repaired. And I must say that Freightliner and International are they're few and far. They're all over the place. They're all over the place. So I always look for a shop, like when I'm buying a truck, how many shops are available to repair this truck if it tears up?
That's what I heard, and I was hoping that you would have say the same thing, so I know it's real, so I wasn't lied to. But that's the big thing, is you got to think parts, the availability of parts and maintenance to your truck. And so when you do a load or a delivery, do you have your truck commute all the way back, or do you have it stop somewhere on the way? Or
Yeah, if the truck breaks down, we have it repaired in the location that is broken down in. If it can make it back to one of our trusted shops in Georgia, we have it come back there and we book a load. We never want to have a truck move without a load. So we always try to keep it loaded because that's money.
absolutely, that's huge, 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 huge. Miss Willingham, you are incredible, and I thank you for making time today to give back. I consider this a part of giving back. And so I want to say thank you for being here and giving back in this way and educating us on an industry that, from what I heard, right, what I heard is going to be in the near future. It's not going away. It's not disappearing. We need this industry in order. It keeps America moving. It keeps America mobile. Miss Willingham, how, again, any final words? You've shared so many nuggets this episode. Anything that I didn't ask that you want to share? Anything that you that I just missed out on that you really need to get out to the audience and the people that they need to hear?
I would just say again, thank you for having me and featuring SJW Logistics. And like I said, I will tell people, if you have that itch or that niche and you think you want to get into the industry, do your research, get you a mentor. You can save a lot of money and avoid a lot of mistakes with someone helping you. So allow someone to help you and you could be very successful in this industry.
Love it, love it, love it. That's the truth, y'all. Miss Willingham spilling the tea on Gentleman Style Podcast Show. How can my audience connect? How can we learn more and continue to grow? This truck has left the station. This train has left the station, but it's not too late to get on board. How can my audience connect with you and what you're doing?
They can connect with us on Instagram at SJW Logistics. We're on Facebook at SJW Trucking and Deliveries and SJW Logistics. We also have a Facebook group of SJW Logistics, a community that's designed to help you win. It's the slogan up there in trucking. And I'm also on LinkedIn at Seretha Willingham and at SJW Logistics. So there's multiple ways to connect with me.
Absolutely. She's everywhere, y'all. She's global, multi-million dollar mindset. That's what we have on the show today. Thank you, Miss Willingham. Thank you for giving back today. I appreciate you. And I want to say this to you publicly. Don't ever quit. Don't ever give up. We need you. We need what you're doing. And you are a phenomenal sister. Don't ever let them try and slow you down. Don't ever let them hold you down. No, everybody hold me. Sorry, I had a moment there. But thank you for what you're doing. You are unstoppable.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you, my audience, for tuning in to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was informational. Connect. You guys got to check out what Miss Willingham is doing. She's changing the world one delivery, one truck at a time. Sign up for that course, y'all. If you forget anything this episode, sign up for that course, get connected. And so reach out to me if you need to get connected. I will connect you to her. I promise you. Like I always end every show, take care of your friends, take care of your family, and always take care of business. This is Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show, signing off. Love you guys. Bye.